Welcome to Asia Space right here on Soweto TV, channel 251 on DSTV. This is a show to educate you on certain careers that are best suited for you. I am your host for this show. Namhlanje topic here too, it is advertising. Khona manje asene idrate nisibona ukuthi ingabe abantu bayazi ukuthi what is advertising all about. Maqeda lapho siyakuma 5 quick facts on advertising. It is Asia Space, your career choice. Asenkon. 5 quick facts on advertising.
Hello, Nkuluma Nokabelo, Mutimele wase Soweto, and I've been asked what is advertising. Advertising is the process of letting people know of the things they could get verbally and non-verbally. Through advertising, there's communication as well. So it's basically communicating with people, letting them know what is available, where they can get it, for how much. We advertise through anything. We use television, radios, social networking, application, anything. So basically advertising is letting people know of the things they can get a hold of, such as information and raw data. So we use advertising through social media to let them know.
Number 1. Advertising is a form of marketing communication used to promote or sell something within the business product or service.
I'm from Dobsonville, and I've been asked the different ways in which you can advertise yourself. The 2 best ways that I think you can advertise yourself is through the local newspaper. Everybody reads the newspaper so they won't miss it, and social media, because everybody has Facebook, Twitter, like we live in the 21st century, so you can advertise your business like that.
Number 2. People can advertise using mass media, for example, newspapers, radio, or television.
Hi, my name is Katlaga Masekela. I'm from Diepkloof Zone 1, and I've been asked what branding is. From my perspective, branding is when you brand something, you make sure that people know it. It is part of the marketing industry, and it basically divides you from other brands. Meaning, if you have a Nike, you know that it's a tick that means Nike, and then you can see it from afar. Branding makes sure that people can see your product from afar, and that you're attracted. You get attracted from it. It also shows what product or what business are you, so that it's easy for people to know your business, and it's easy for people to buy your product as well. That's my understanding of branding.
Number 3. That's true. In addition, branding is a process that involves you creating a unique name and image for the product in the consumer's mind, which is mainly done by advertising campaigns.
Sanwanani ikamala mumasekho dibakwani. I think the first ad, Begui Media and Production, because it was the time when TV was introduced and people didn't know anything about that. So it's the first ad. That's what I think.
Number 4. The first official paid television advertisement was broadcasted in the United States on July the 1st in 1941, which was the WNBT and now is WNBC.
Yeah, I'm Atman George. So, I run a project here at Wyatt. So, I huiti moga PSA because of like it's PSA what is mean. So, that's all.
Lastly, number 5. Let us inform you. PSA means public service advertisements. Those were your 5 quick facts on advertising. Boston Media House has a faculty specializing in advertising. They focus on creative thinking, advert proposals, and concepts. Let's have a chat with them. Ngithemba ukuthi seniyazi ukuthi what is this course all about ekuyiyo advertising, but njengamanje sihleli ne lecturer ekuTim ozitshela more on this career. Hi Tim.
Hi.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Tim, can you please give us an insight on what advertising is all about?
Advertising is more than one thing. Firstly, advertising is an industry, so a whole lot of people are employed in the advertising industry. But secondly, more accurately probably, advertising is getting a communication message across to consumers from brands and companies in order to sell their products and services.
There are people that would like to venture into this career. What are the requirements?
For this course, you need to have a matric with an endorsement to go on to further education, to higher education. That's for the diploma.
What does advertising entail?
This course itself does not cover the creative side of advertising. So we would cover strategic planning, so the strategic side of advertising, client service, which is a fundamental part of the industry, production and traffic. So production is the actual production of advertisements, either print, TV, radio, whatever it might be. And traffic is a very key role in an agency, and it's pretty much what it says. So if you think of what a traffic officer does, they make sure that the cars are all going in the right direction at the right time. So a traffic person in an agency would make sure that all the jobs are going to the right place at the right time.
How long does the course take?
It's 3 years.
We know that it's not always easy for you as a lecturer. What are some of the challenges that you face?
I think the biggest challenge is trying to balance the theoretical side of advertising with the practical side. And the truth is, I was in advertising for 35 years, and I don't have any qualification in advertising at all. I did a fine arts degree. So it's a very difficult thing to try and balance the theoretical side of advertising with the practical side, because the truth be told, if you're working in an advertising agency, 99% of what you're going to be doing is practical. And so you need to understand how to apply the theories, not necessarily who wrote the theory or what the theory really is all about. So I think the biggest challenge for me is to get students, first of all, working in groups. They don't like working in groups particularly. And to make sure that the students understand that what we're trying to do is create some advertising strategies rather than feedback what a definition of an advertising strategy is. That's pretty meaningless.
Like you said, advertising is all about dealing with clients. So in such a career, what type of personality should one have?
I would say that people who want to have careers in advertising need some form of creative thinking. They don't necessarily have to be creative in the way that we normally think about it, in terms of drawing or singing or whatever, but certainly in the ability to come up with new ideas. That would be the first thing. And I think that people have to be very observant. You have to understand human behavior, so consumer behavior, what would make somebody buy something. Those are probably the two things that I would be looking for. And of course the ability to work very long hours.
So you spoke about qualifications. With such a qualification, what are the job opportunities?
Okay, so in advertising there are a fair amount of different types of job. The first one, and probably one of the most important, is client service or account management. And those are the people who interface with the client on a day-to-day basis. So they will take the briefs, they will make sure that the jobs get briefed correctly. And from there, generally what happens is the brief would go to the strategic planning department and the creative department. So strategic planning is another opportunity. And I think that this course particularly is very good at getting people ready for strategic planning. And then creative, which we don't do. I suppose some of the graphic design students might end up in the creative department, but we don't do specifically creative work. Production, traffic, as I said before, so TV production, radio production. That's about it.
I know there's a student watching this show, probably doing grade 10, grade 11 or matric, and they would like to venture into this career, which is advertising. What advice could you give to them?
I think the most important thing is to understand what advertising agencies do and how they work. They're not traditional businesses. So I mean, you can't compare an advertising agency to an accounting firm, for example. The dress code, the way people speak to each other, the culture, very, very different. So I think that you need to be outgoing. You need to be prepared to work very, very long hours and very hard, and you need to be prepared to come up against brick walls and be able to overcome those challenges, because every single job in an agency is basically problem solving. And I think that the other thing that people need to do is go out and do some research on the agencies and talk to them. It's a tough industry to get into, but once you're in, it's great. It's good fun.
Thank you, Tim, for your time.
My pleasure.
It is Age Your Space, your career choice, right here on Soweto TV, channel 251 on DSTV. I hope you have an idea on what advertising is all about. It's all about communication, clients, and commitment. Not forgetting that this is a broad career, because advertisements, Tola, TV, radio, magazines, and newspapers. So for now, let's go to an ad break.